Can I have some
shoutcasts? Generals, gentlemen. Hello, what is up? I'm Ownage Machine from the Generals Gentlemen. Today I am casting a Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath game, which is absolutely crazy for me, because I come from Command & Conquer Generals. Ooh! So today, on the left, we do have bike-RUsh+owns as the red GDI, and on the right we have giopanipi as the orange Black Hand. And so Black Hand is actually going for 2, maybe 3 engineers, yes, 3 engineers, and getting that secret shrine to rush out that Black Disciple upgrade. That's obviously really important, because without that you can't clear garrisons. So if the GDI get these garrisons, which they can quite easily, because they actually riflemen have faster movement speed than Black Hand. So I think this is going to go well for giopanipi actually getting those garrisons, because of not only how much better Black Hand are over riflemen, but also in fact with that upgrade it will make them clear garrisons as well. Actually, yeah, see, look at that, absolutely ripping through those riflemen. And one thing I want to mention actually is that, yeah, giopanipi was playing random, so means that bike-RUsh didn't actually know that he was going to be Black Hand, so he didn't really know. But what the hell? That is a sniper team! Oh my god, and that is absolutely clever when you think about it, because they are stealthed. Sniper teams are stealth, so that you can actually walk right past the Black Hand Confessor Cabals and actually then just snipe down those saboteurs without having to expose them. But will he actually get there in time? Those saboteurs might get in the building. One of them goes down. Will that one as well? I think actually that sniper team denying that engineer. I've actually never seen that. I've never seen that opening against a Black Hand, which when you think about it is actually a really clever thing to do. But as I was trying to say, isn't he random? So I'm not sure how bike-RUsh knew that he was actually going to do that, but whatever, it worked for him, and actually bike-RUsh managed to get that red spike. I forgot to mention that. So meanwhile, these Confessor Cabals with that Black Hand Disciple, they can actually garrison that building and do quite a fair bit of damage to that Tiberius spike with that flamethrower. The Pitbull looks like it's actually trying to weaken the garrison, because yeah, if they leave that there, if bike-RUsh leaves there, he'll actually lose his spike. So he really needs to actually force down that garrison, but it looks like there's absolutely no way he can do that in time. Yeah, the spike will go down. Likewise, this one here is doing the same. That flamethrower, even though there's only one Black Hand, it still does quite a fair bit of flame damage. So the spikes are going down, but not a big deal there, because basically, I think at this stage, giopanipi or something is going to have a pretty difficult time recovering from that really failed opening. Not that he did anything wrong, but just because the sniper team opening was actually very strong against it. If we look at the harvester count, yeah, we do have 2-1 against a 3-1. Actually, hang on. When you think about it, the opening that bike-RUsh did with the sniper team, it actually probably set him back just as much in terms of harvester count, but the fact that he denied the engineer caps was actually putting him ahead. So it's not as much as a big difference if it was like a conventional harvester opening where it's like a 2-5 sort of thing, but that's okay. So where do those bikes go? There was a lot of bikes I saw. Oh, there they are. Okay, here are the bikes, yes. So the bikes are gonna pick some shots off at these APCs and actually might be able to get in range of those harvesters, but there's going to be quite a fair bit of pitbulls that will not allow that to happen. But actually, these Confessor Cabals with their Black Hand Disciples are actually pretty decent against pitbulls. That's surprising. So you can kind of use the Cabals to poke back the pitbulls, but not really. And actually, the bike's going to take down, weaken that power plant at least. But yes, getting away just in time to avoid getting pooped on by those pitbulls. So very good control there by giopanipi. Is his name, right? Giopanipi. That's such a weird name. I've never heard of that guy. Anyway, so the Cabals are moving and going to actually try and take down that Warfact. They might even get there, but I don't think they will with the APCs and not only the Watchtower, but also pulling a Harvester to crush those Black Hand. Absolutely fantastic there, because the APCs obviously cannot crush. If you guys don't know this game very well, like if you're tuning in from Generals, unlike Generals, a lot of units can't actually crush to balance it out. Whereas in Generals, everything can crush. Like, if it's a vehicle, yep, it can crush, go nuts. But in CNC3, not everything can crush, only kind of big stuff like tanks and, harvesters in this case can. Which would be pretty OP if, like, APCs and people could crush. Anyway, so we do actually have... I was looking for the command center, I thought he sold it. We do have the MCV actually moving out from bike-RUsh+owns to the center of the map. That's awesome, because if you can mine this middle supply, whilst your opponent mines this one, it puts you in a position where if you can kind of hold off, because obviously it makes your refineries more exposed. But if you, well, okay, well, just kidding, because the MCV is actually going south by the looks of it. Probably a good idea, considering how many bikes are on the field. As I was trying to say though, because it means that you still have your safer expo, so you don't have to actually fight over this one. So it's a bit of a risk high reward situation, but if you can hold it off, it's going to be pretty good. But yes, the bikes actually may get caught by the pit bulls. No, such a good control there. Good control from giopanipi, keeping those alive and just not kind of committing into situations which would, you know, result in some of them dying. So that's good work there. But so far we are seeing actually quite a fair bit of scorpions. Double war factory. Cool, cool, cool. That is a good way to get scorpions, and that is what he's doing. Absolutely ballsing out some scorpions. And considering we haven't seen any predator tanks from bike-RUsh+owns, that must going to be a good idea. We are seeing the AP ammo upgrade go down from the APCs. That's kind of interesting, considering we're not really seeing any kind of man spam thus far, and now that because bike-RUsh didn't actually get a scout on these scorpions, that's going to be a bit of a problem, because now I don't think bike-RUsh really has much to actually deal with that. All he really has is, you know, APCs and pitbulls, which even with the AP ammo are still not good against scorpions. You really need predators and rocket troops. The rocket troops, you know, get crushed. So predator tanks, even shatterers, is what you really want now, and actually catching maybe some of those bikes. No. The one goes down, but no big deal there. The scorpions, yeah, are going to kill his power even. But the scorpions are going to be a huge problem. More missile troops, maybe even garrison missile troops inside of the APCs, and that's exactly what he's doing, managing to not even kill the power actually. So, okay, fair enough. Might have been more missile squads than I realized, but yeah, that's actually, I'm not sure why he's backing off. I think he could probably do a little bit of damage at least with that many scorpions, because now it's giving him time to build predators, isn't it? Because now that bike-RUsh has scouted the fact that he's just got an absolute crazy amount of scorpions, now he's going to probably transition to more predator tanks, I would imagine. Perhaps even orcas, probably not, but it's always a possibility. So yeah, a lot of scorpions. Are we going to see dozer blades? Not yet. Doesn't have his tech 2 so far. What does bike-RUsh have? No, they still haven't got tech 2. So both players actually going for a rather slow tech path thus far. Actually taking to the power plant. Good work there. Tiberium period, never mind, I thought it was a bike-RUsh. But yes, all the APCs might actually run into these Scorpion tanks. That is not a good position to be in, because the Scorpion tanks are absolutely fantastic against APCs. Yeah, trying to reverse move out of it, actually laying some mines, might catch some Scorpions out of position. Yes, some Scorpions aren't paying attention, not a big deal though, because they are just muscling their way through these APCs, look at that. So I definitely would like to see some Predators, because Predators are going to be a lot better than rocket troops, because missile squads can just get run over. And even like rocket APCs still aren't really that cost effective. A predator tank now is going to be good, but yeah, these mines actually, he has to make sure that giopani is actually not running through these mines, and that's what he's doing. So he's doing quite a fair bit of scorpions to those mines. Bikes meanwhile doing pressure on the top harvester. Good work there actually, doing some pressure at different locations, and kind of catching some units out of position here. He really needs to stop attacking into this, because he's sending in APCs against scorpions. He's not really achieving much. Where those bikes go, yeah, actually, oh, almost taking out that harvester, not quite though. Almost. Do we have any tech from either players just yet? Yes, we do have a tech to the operations center going down, and likewise, it looks like bike-RUsh is in a position where he really can't afford to tech so far. And actually, giopani getting the map control, which means we might see like a forward harvester as opposed, a blue Tiberium. Because when you have that map control, you really can go for that blue tip, which otherwise it might be risky sometimes. So when you're this kind of push forward, it means you get away with it. But now we are seeing predator tanks. Fantastic. Predator tanks are going to have no problems at all dealing with these scorpions, especially with the help of quite a fair bit of these rocket squads. But just kidding, because they're all rifle squads. Okay, fair enough. But flame tank. Okay, what are you going to do, Mr. Flame Tank? And actually, on that subject of map control, we do not see this Tiberium spike from giopani. I don't even know what giopani just yet. giopani, which, yeah, as I said, when you're this far pushed forward, it's really easy to do so. And yeah, getting that tech lab there, getting the dozer blades, so it looks like giopani is actually making use of this map control he has by getting the tech, getting the upgrades, getting the thing that's really important. But interesting enough, we do see bike-RUsh is actually transitioning into these hammerheads, and that's a pretty good thing to do, because when you have that AP ammo, it really means that you can make those hammerheads worthwhile without having to wait, or without having to spend the AP ammo first. So it's a pretty good idea. I don't really think it's going to be that good against just scorpions, because they don't do enough damage, but we will see. Actually, look, bike-RUsh is going for the blue tib, so that's fairly interesting. Now kind of the tables have turned, I think it's the term, where actually bike-RUsh is pushing out for this map control, and with the map control comes all of the goods, the spoils of war, getting that blue tip, getting that extra money in. But look at this, look at all of these scorpions and all of these bikes. That is a very scary army to be reckoned with, especially because of how slow this army of predators and infantry is. These bikes can really just go into the undefended base of bike-RUsh and do quite a fair bit of damage. In the flame tank, it's going to sneak its way through, maybe take out some of... Oh, that was a Tiberium missile. Oh, wow. So actually, bike-RUsh losing quite a fair bit of stuff here. Obelisk of Light will probably take down a lot of those predators, but there's just so much of it there. It might not actually... Giopani is actually recalling back to his base. He figures he needs to defend. It's probably a good idea considering how much damage was done with that Tib missile and the flame tank. So if he can kind of hold off this push, then I think it'll be a very good position for Giopani to be in, because he did so much damage. So actually, will he manage to hold off? We are seeing that, what's it called? The charge particle beam, which makes them quite a fair bit stronger, but there's just so many hammerheads, and will they do enough, or will they get caught by these SAM sites? There are no typical missiles, but the splash is doing quite a fair bit of damage to all those hammerheads, and actually it looks like here come the scorpions now. The scorpions will obviously poop all over those already weakened predators, but now these hammerheads are going to be the problem. You really need to get some more anti-air, and the Black Hand Mantises are actually very strong. They're really, really good, so if he can get out some Mantis, then I think it'll be fine, because when you think about it, Giopani didn't really lose much. He lost like a couple of harvesters maybe, and a whole bunch of kind of units and obelisks, but what did bike-RUsh lose? He lost, yeah, pretty much everything apart from his harvesters. He doesn't have any tech, he doesn't have any air, he doesn't even have a factory. Look, he has no war factory, so if these hammerheads can stay in the game, then I think if the hammerheads get taken out, then bike-RUsh really has nothing going for him. So that's a lot of SAM sites. Wow, he's actually, yeah, he's really scared of those hammerheads. Definitely a good thing to be scared of, yeah. But once that Tib Core missiles goes down, I'm actually not sure if it is. I'm trying to check. No, it hasn't gone down. And if they do, then I have. I'm bad at this video game. Yeah, the Tib Core missiles are down, so bikes and mantises are very, very effective against these hammerheads, especially when they're so splashed like that. He really needs to repair them because quite a fair bit of them are damaged. But meanwhile, yeah, what can bike-RUsh do? Because he's really in this position where he's so kind of caught in his own base. But that being said, Giopani isn't really making use of the fact, like he's actually letting him mine from the blue Tiberium, despite being so contained in his base. And I think that's because Giopani doesn't really push out with the Scorpion tanks, because then he's actually quite vulnerable to these hammerheads, because if you push out, then you can lose them all. So I guess he might wait until he gets some more anti-air to push out, but like when you have Tib Core missiles, you don't really need a lot of anti-air, so I think he should at least deny this blue Tib, but obviously he doesn't actually know. He doesn't necessarily know that's happening, so he's not really aware of that. It's kind of a risk for him. Do I push out just in case and maybe lose my Scorpions to these hammerheads? So it's a difficult position to be in where you don't really know what they're doing and you can't really find out because they have hammerheads, APM hammerheads, but I would like to see some bikes kind of getting some scouting because it is pretty important. Yeah, so I definitely think though he should be more aggressive than he is. Anyway, but that's okay. We aren't actually seeing a Redeemer facility, which I would imagine would be a good idea considering he has so much income by the looks of it, but I guess he might be instead saving the excess funds for some special abilities from the Tiberium chemical plant. Who knows? I do not. I cast video games, I do not read minds. So let's see, but actually yeah, bike-RUsh is pushing out with not only the hammerheads but also the tanks, and the bike is actually getting a scout on that outpost, and that's really important because now Giopani knows that bike-RUsh is actually going to be expanding to this middle field. I don't know if he saw that Reclamator hub go down. Wait, what? Giopani, yeah, he did actually. He obviously did. Yeah, units get heaps of line of sight when they die. Yeah, so now he knows that not only is he going to be getting that middle Tiberium field, but he's also going to be Marvisting, so if he's going to actually push out, he has to push out now, otherwise he will let him Marvist, and that's not a good position to be in when you're opponent Marvis. That's terrible, but the hammerheads, there's just so many rocket hammerheads now, so he really needs to take them out with the bikes, otherwise they will just rip through the tanks, and that's what they're going to do, but maybe the bikes will take them down with all the splash damage. Look at that, only splitting them up just now. That was a very delayed split, but now the Predator tanks will go down to Scorpions because there's just so many of them, and once those hammerheads went down, that was the only edge he had left. He really needed those hammerheads to stay alive, because now he has no way of dealing with these Scorpion tanks. Actually backing off, good idea, because the Marv did go down, and the Marv will absolutely poop all over your Scorpion tanks, especially when they're that weak. Going for the zone troopers to garrison that Marv for that extra damage. Maybe go for some engineers for their repair, we'll see. And actually, yeah, getting quite a fair bit of bikes maybe to harass this base down here, we will see. And actually moving the MCV forward, that is very, very, very risky. Moving it towards a Marv. Uh-oh. What is going to happen there? Missile squad is going to scout that, and the bike's catching out some of these harvesters. Fantastic. That should have happened like 15 minutes ago. But look at that, right? What are they called? Zone trooper hammerheads. Wow, that is very strong against bikes. That's a lot stronger than rocket trooper hammerheads. That's actually scarily strong. But that's clever. That makes sense. If he can actually EMP him into the obelisk of light, that Marv will go down. So maybe he's going to try and bait him into the obelisk of light range, and then EMP the hell out of him. I would absolutely love to see that. That would be hilarious. But I'm sure bike-RUsh will not let that happen. He's not a scrub. He knows how to not lose Marvs, I hope, at least. So yeah, getting one engineer in there as well. There's a 4th slot empty though. And actually running out of money on, yeah, this base down here, and kind of making his way back up here. We are seeing the tap lag go down, obviously, because of that recommender hubs down. But will we see any upgrades? I don't think so. I don't think railguns is a priority at the moment. And actually, now it's in with aim. Will we see the EMP buggies EMP that down? No, we will not, because the obelisk went down to a shockwave artillery. So that was actually weird use of the abilities there. And why is he attacking? Why are you attacking? That's with all those Scorpions. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we might actually lose a lot of those hammerheads to the splash rockets, but that's a bad position to be in when you have your MCV that far forward and you don't really have anything to actually defend it. What happened there? Anyway, so yeah, was that a mine drop? Actually, might land on. Oh, that's a Tiberium Vapor Bomb. Fuel Vapor Bomb, or whatever it's called. It does stuff. Anyway, so the Obelisk of Light now is in another position to take down that, and it does so much damage to it. But now there's just so many Predator tanks, and even the Juggernaut. So with these Juggernauts, these Obelisks of Light are not going to be a problem. And actually now losing that MCV. So now he has no MCV, and he's even selling the Recommender Hub. So does he even have a factory left? No, he has no war factory. So I think that's game for giopani here, but he might go into man spamming. Yeah, here we go, man spamming. When behind man spam. For those of you who didn't get the reference, I was trying to make a reference to do with the when behind Dark Shrine thing, but no. When behind man spam. Okay, fair enough. Do what you gotta do. And actually when you think about it, it makes sense. Because basically, bike-RUsh, all he has is these strong anti-tank units. He has railgun, hammerheads, Marv, juggernauts, predators, zone troopers even. So man spam could actually be very effective. He doesn't really have much anti-infantry, but he does actually have that AP ammo. So he could transition into anti-man spam rather easily, but I don't think that'll be a concern for him because he just has pretty much every field in the game apart from the ones that, you know, don't belong to you. Yeah, getting from 3 fields at once with a Marv as well. If you look at his income, he probably just has a whole bunch of it. And especially now that he has that... I was going to say, he has the... Never mind! Well, he shockwave artillery, so he must have had that, I don't know what it's called, but the thing that gives you abilities. Yeah, he must have sold it. That's okay. That's okay. That is not a problem. And actually, the man spam is moving forward. I would like to see some buggies, though, because it's really, really hard to kill Mars with infantry, because the Marv is kind of the same speed as the infantry, so you can just run away from it, whereas with the EMP buggies, obviously, it's going to deny that. And actually, the Marv is fairly cut off from the rest of the army, so he's going to have to retreat that, preventing the Marv staying good at least. Black Hand squads are going to be dealing with these rifleman squads, no problem at all. But there's actually a whole bunch of man spam there. We really need to see probably a commando, some sniper teams would be good, but even just AP ammo, APCs, like you can't go wrong with that. And actually, the Predator's moving forward to crush all these troops. Will he land the crush, splitting up what he can? But it's actually just losing so much infantry to these Predator tanks, which is normally easy to counter because they are quite slow. And the Hammerhead's now moving in to actually clean up everything that wasn't crushed, basically. And the Lone Troopers not being as effective against infantry, but still doing quite a decent job combined with the AP ammo. And yeah, just the man spam did not really do much as I was actually expecting it to be honest. So there goes pretty much everything that Giopani had going for him was that man spam. And I think that ultimately just came down to that the poor splitting up, because the Predator tanks, they're so slow. It's not really that hard to prevent being crushed. Like, obviously you're going to lose some, but you don't generally lose that much as what Giopani did just then. I thought that man spam was going to be a pretty big deal, but it was not at all. So now this is obviously going to go to bike-RUsh. He just simply has everything, and bike-RUsh has everything, and Giopani does not at all. So yeah, where's the GG? Well, no GG thus far, but that's okay. Not even mad, not even a little bit. Excuse me. So now looks like bike-RUsh is gonna push his way through into the base of Giopani, and like I don't think Giopani. Oh boy, excuse me. Sorry, he has 4,000 funds, but it's not really enough. Yeah, going for a second man spam. Look at that, 80 rocket squads and 50. So will he get them in time? Somehow, I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna get 130 rocket squads before this Marv can get there. And even if he did, not a big deal. Actually, what am I saying? That's a huge deal. 130 rocket squads. Anyway, so yeah, it's just getting really desperate with this man spam, and it actually will be interesting to see if it is more effective than the last push. It might be. I mean, depending on the positioning. bike-RUsh doesn't really have any predators, so without these predators, actually, yeah, what does he have? He can't really crush them apart from the Marv, which obviously is too slow to crush. These rifle squads are not going to be a problem at all against the Confessor Cabals with the charged particle beams. And yeah, look, there are no anti-infantry. Where are the hammerheads? Where are the hammerheads? Where are the APCs? Where are the predators? He has nothing to deal with this man spam, actually. You cannot retreat from that infantry, and now the Juggernauts moving in, but I mean, Juggernauts are so exposed now against these rocket squads. Actually, here come the hammerheads. There are the hammerheads mopping up everything in a matter of seconds. Almost losing the Marv, and now with the hammerheads, that was a little bit delayed there, but yeah, there goes everything. So I actually should have been looking at those hammerheads, but that's okay. I knew they were coming. GG from Giopani has been defeated. Woo! Alright. So yeah, that was actually a really cool game. I think ultimately the reason why Giopani kind of fell out of that game is because basically when he had that huge map control advantage where bike-RUsh was really pushed back into his corner of the map, he didn't really make use of it. He didn't get the spike, like that's only a little thing, but the big thing was not only did he not get the blue Tiberium, but he actually was allowing bike-RUsh to mine from the blue tib, which kind of defeats the entire purpose of like pushing your opponent back. You're not going to explode it. I mean, sure, the hammerheads were kind of preventing him from pushing out, but it's not really that hard to get like 3 attack bikes, because considering he already had tib core missiles, it's not really that hard to get enough anti-air to ward off like 6 hammerheads. And yeah, so he should have definitely been scouting the blue tib, because that was, I think that tipped the favor, because with that blue tib it really meant bike-RUsh could tech up, get the Marv, and just get a whole bunch more predators and actually push back into the game. So, but well played there from both players, and that was awesome. And if you liked my casting, I do a lot of Command & Conquer Generals. I also do some Red Alert 3, maybe even StarCraft 2. And yes, I also team up with Cyber quite a fair bit, so I'm sure you'll see me around. So stay tuned. I'm Owner's Machine from the General Gentleman, and this is me signing off. Goodbye.